Nigeria fashion has had global visibility for a good while, thanks to Afrobeats, Nollywood, comedy, and the culture in general. Nigeria is dressing up the world, and now Nigeria is preparing a shift to the next level.
Nigerian fashion has gone global, but the next frontier isn't just runways, it's manufacturing. With me today is Folake Akindele, founder of Tiffany Amber.
Who is Folake?
My name is Folake. I'm the creative director to the Tiffany Amber brand, and that's who I am.
You might be wondering how Folake started a fashion brand.
The label was launched in 1998, and it was a hobby because I remember I started law school in Lagos, and there was a 13 months holiday in between moving the law school from Lagos to Abuja. So I just thought, what could I do to while away time? And I started making clothes for myself to take to school because Abuja, I'd heard, was very hot. The climate was very different from Lagos. So I created some pieces for myself. And then when I got to school, I would wear these pieces. And everybody would always tell me, oh, I want one of these, I want one of these. And I thought, okay, all right. Started doing a little business while I was in school. And then we had another long holiday. So I decided to have a small fashion show. And it's been uphill since then. Mm-hmm. Around Arise Magazine Fashion Week, where we were awarded Fashion Brand of the Year. And then later on, doing our own standalone show at the London Fashion Week, which was sponsored by GT Bank. Earlier on this year, started with a bang, with the Vogue Italia editor, Franca Susani, visiting the store. And she was here with us for 2 hours. It doesn't get any more major than that when you have the editor of Vogue in your store.
Fashion is attitude. Fashion can give you feelings of all sorts. How do women feel when they wear Tiffany Amber?
Well, this is a top and wrapper by Tiffany Amber. She's a Nigerian designer, and I'm from Nigeria, so I had to represent. Just thought, it's a gala, it's a special event, Unstoppable Africa. We have to come correct and show that we're amazing, and so why not dress the part?
Tonight I'm wearing Tiffany Amber, and it's my take on sophisticated elegant, which Falake's brand represents. Now, before the show, I was invited to her Lagos store, and as a client and buyer of the brand, it was really hard for me to decide on what to wear because she has a vast range of selected pieces. For me, iconic is the word for Folake Coker Akindele. Her brand is the epitome of Lagos glam.
The one that really sticks to mind is a lady coming to accuse me of being responsible for her last child. What? Because her husband fell in love with her all over again because of my lily wrap dress. And what is the story of this lily wrap dress? I think it was Arise Fashion Week in 2012. And I had this dress in my head. The entire collection was complete. But then I kept seeing this dress in my mind, and I draped and draped and draped. So my team, they were so tired. Some of them were like, they crashed on the floor because they were so tired of this woman fiddling around with fabric as far as they were concerned. And I think around 3 a.m. in the morning, I said, got it. And they were like, and this is my lily wrap dress. Now this dress, I told them that this is going to be the biggest hit then in Tiffany Amber. And I can't tell you, we sold thousands of those dresses, not only in Nigeria, all over. So many women would come to me and tell me how much their husband loved them in their dress, or their husband, or how much, or their daughter stole the dress, or just something like that.
How does Folake get her inspirational ideas?
It doesn't work the same way all the time. I think in visuals. So sometimes, I live in my own world. Sometimes, I could spend 48 hours without seeing anybody, and I'm okay with it. And so I would sit sometimes and think, what do I want the feel of this collection to be? How do I want the woman to feel when she's wearing this piece? I visualize. That's the first thing I do. And then the next thing I do is bring up my vision on paper with my amazing illustrators, because my illustrations are not that great, but you can understand them. And then we start thinking through the fabrics that we're going to use, and then we make our samples. And as soon as the samples come to life, as far as I'm concerned, the entire dress is alive.
It's alive.
And then my mood. So my best friend reckons that I do make the best pieces when I'm in love.
Well, girl, you must have really been in love with this when you made this dress, because it's fabulous. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Tiffany Amber has been dressing up Nigerians and people all over the world for over 25 years.
You're the only girl I focus on.
It's just been such an amazing journey. It doesn't feel like 25 years. It feels like I started 5 years ago. But so much has happened. They couldn't possibly happen in 5 years. But over it all, I'm just really grateful that we're still standing tall. And I think probably one of the most important thing is we've been very focused on the vision. We keep reinventing the brand over and over again.
Creativity and business acumen is a very necessary tool. And note, this is a skill necessary for the next level.
I would probably say that I was a business person before I became a fashion designer.
Is that right?
Because the whole process of making pieces that people wanted and selling them almost immediately just completely put me in the path of understanding that your creativity has to coexist with the business aspects of it.
Right.
And I've been very lucky in that regard. I've been able to balance the two.
When your country and a thriving fashion city like Lagos celebrates with you, your impact is next level.
Thank you for being here today for the celebration of Tiffany Amber at 25.
Tiffany Amber is widely regarded as arguably the first ready-to-wear designer in Nigeria, and I think that is worthy of a special mention.
Folake started with a dream, and now Tiffany Amber is dressing up the world.
I'm sure we need to test one of the longest runway that you've seen in modern fashion runway, because this will be one of the longest. I'm sure it will compete with Paris and New York and the rest of it. But today, it's about the creativity. It's about the true passion of Lagos.
What will take Nigeria and Nigeria fashion to the next level?
Every company coming into Nigeria comes into the food, the fuel, and the fashion. We need to take control of those things. Can you imagine what a force we would be if all those things, at the moment, Nigerian fashion designers do not even cater for the 1% of the 1% of the population, right? And if we take control of that, decide, you know what, I'm not going to buy. I'm only going to buy Nigerian in every way. Do you know how far we would get? I'm very passionate about this. And it's something I intend to drive within my own space.
Wow, food, fuel, and fashion. I think we can now give fuel a tick, thanks to Dangote, who now exports finished products to the world. We can all surely learn from this. Now, what about fashion? Does Folake Adeleke have any plans for Nigeria coming up next?
Nigerian fashion has gone global, but the next frontier isn't just runways, it's manufacturing. A new partnership is set to employ 4,000 workers at the Kwara Garment Factory.
The Kwara Garment Factory is about to start something special.
I read your Instagram. You said that this feels like a full circle moment, and that if a factory like this had existed when you started out in fashion, your journey would have looked very different.
This moment feels very personal to me because it brings together nearly 30 years of experience and a real chance to help build something the industry has needed for a long time. When I started out,
one of the biggest challenges was infrastructure. We had the creativity, we had the talent, but we didn't always have the manufacturing capacity to match our ambitions. So through KWS Garment Production Village, we're stepping into a management of Kwara Garment Factory with a very clear vision to help build the production backbone Nigerian fashion has long needed. Uniforms, sportswear, corporate apparel, large-scale manufacturing. But beyond the production, what really excites me is bridging the gap between creativity and manufacturing. Nigeria has never lacked talent. What we've often lacked is infrastructure. And you simply cannot build a globally competitive industry without strong production capacity. This is about moving from potential to execution. And I must acknowledge the vision of His Excellency, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, for creating this kind of infrastructure that makes something like this possible.
To build a production backbone, a consumption economy does not get anyone to the next level. Being globally competitive is imperative.
There is greater recognition of the fashion value and more global respect for African creativity, but we still need to move faster and more intentionally.
What are the challenges of getting to the next level?
We've made incredible progress, but the real challenges still remain. The first is infrastructure and production capacity. Many brands still rely on small studios with a handful of tailors, talented, yes, but not always structured to scale. Creativity can only go so far if production can't keep up. The second is funding. Yes, funding. Fashion is increasingly being recognized as a serious economic contributor, but access to the capital is still difficult, very difficult. Then there's the education and technical skills. Creativity alone isn't enough.
What would a production infrastructure do for Kwara State and Nigeria?
The impact goes far beyond fashion. When people hear garment factory, they think sewing. But 4,000 workers? It means machine operators, pattern makers, quality control team, logistics, administration, training, management, a whole ecosystem of employment. And more importantly, we envisage around 80% of the workforce being women. Globally, the garment industry has been one of the most powerful pathways for women into skilled work, financial independence, and long-term economic participation. That's transformative. A young person can walk in with little or no experience and leave with a skill set that changes their entire trajectory. We're not just about creating jobs. We're about building a highly skilled, globally competitive talent. And when done right, the ripple effect on families and communities can be extraordinary.
This is an exciting project capable of catapulting Nigerian fashion.
The next frontier for me is longevity.
Fantastic.
How do we build brands that last? How do we institutionalize the industry? How do we create the businesses that outlive individuals? That's the work ahead. And honestly, I'm super duper excited about it.
The Tiffany Amber universe in almost every aspect of our lives to dress up the world. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Watch this next video for more about Nigerian fashion. Please give me a like and subscribe to the channel.